You're listening to the Here for the Clout podcast. Here are your hosts, Sherilyn Dale and Cece Suarez. Yeah, baby.
Hello, Clout Queens, Kings, and in-betweens. Welcome back to the Here for the Clout podcast. My name is Chelsea Suarez, and this gorgeous little guppy is your other host, Sherilyn Dale.
I want a guppy.
Well,
What are guppies?
perfect. We're off to a great start.
Do they belong
A
in the
guppy's
ocean?
it's like a little fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I really want is an axolotl, and it's like Oriana wants one, but like I'm down with it because they have little smiles and they wave at you.
Can we have those as pets?
I feel like we can I don't know.
Yeah, you got to look into that.
Okay, I mean I don't want one if it's illegal.
I feel like you can. I don't know.
It's all good though. We're here. You guys are here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
My JoJo Siwa vest is just staring at me like singing like Careless Whisper in the corner right now.
That's how I feel about my Cher wig, because she's so sad and hurt at the bottom, and
it's so
it's
good,
just
that one. Where's that one from? Freedom?
oh no girl, we only have 2 Freedom Couture wigs. No, that one is from Webster Wigs.
Oh, it's great. And did you do a lot of plucking?
No.
Yeah, the hair, everything was just. You've told me about them before. I gotta go. I gotta do it. It's just like always like when I need something, it's like I need it now. Because that's
Well, they ship real fast, and then obviously with Freedom Couture they ship within like a day. It's crazy.
Yeah, maybe I'll check it out.
Yeah, girl, get it. Welcome back to Wig Hour. So, how are you? Are you good?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
You've been causing a lot of shit on TikTok.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Rachel texted me yesterday. She's like, I just have to ask you, and then you can tell me because I'm hyper fixating on like refreshing Spotify every 5 seconds. Like for the next episode, I'm like, it will be out Friday. And tell Chelsea to stop causing fucking storms on TikTok with Elizabeth. I said, I'm letting her do her thing now. And I'm carrying on moving forward because then I'm like, oh, then she says something new. Then I'm like, maybe that can piece in here. And it's like, no, keep forging on. We had a plan. Stick to it. And then that can be added where it needs to. So now I'm just letting you do what you need to do, babe.
I have no idea what you're referring to. I have people threatening me, telling me that they're going to expose my skeletons in my closet.
I saw that. That was my favorite video of the morning. Oh my God. I loved it.
Yeah. So, of course, as one does, I went over to my closet in my office and I was like, what is in my closet? So I opened it up, took out my horns, put on a mustache, I was like, I just got costumes and crafts in here. Like, it's so, and then I was like, I mean, you could try to expose me for like having gone to rehab, but guess what, girl? If there's anything to expose about me, get in line because I've already done it. Like old news.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw that person. I'm like, which one are you now? Like, there's like the top 4 that just keep making fake accounts to like talk.
Yeah. It is very weird. This like niche or like this like little, I'd call it a corner of the internet, but it's more so a stinky alleyway of the internet. And it's truly like people are messaging me and being like, oh my God, this person made a video about you. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, y'all don't know me. Like the clock app is so fucking weird, man. And there are people who, oh God, Liz had the audacity to say that she's like, I'm not giving her, talking about me, any more attention. I gave her too much of my time the other day, and she's just trying to like make a podcast and like off my name and make herself famous and like make herself someone. And it's like, Liz.
Okay.
Elizabeth, you are quite literally nobody. Yeah. And I hate to tell you this, but like how many followers does she have on TikTok and all that? Like, first of all, your engagement on Instagram is dog shit.
So is TikTok.
Your engagement on TikTok is dog.
Yeah.
And
And that's the
only
thing. It's like
reason
you're saying you're known as Cupcake Mom. People don't usually, even when we say Elizabeth Teckenbrock or chicken broth or whatever, people are like, yeah, that checks because we don't know what her, we know her as Cupcake Mom who's crying.
Yeah.
And then you lied. Like, had that only been the viral moment, gone with the wind, babe. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. You'd be in the same boat as every other viral one. At this point, you should be thanking us because you're still getting attention, which you want.
Yeah, you're not keeping me relevant, babe.
No.
I'm keeping you relevant.
Yes. And to be fair, like, if we never can see or hear your name again after this podcast, it will be too soon. So
I would love that.
once
I
we're
would love
done, we're done. You had your
Yeah.
moment. You got your extra 15 minutes. Bye-bye.
It's so wild because she's like, it's like, babe, one of us is doing this as a job.
Mm-hmm.
One of us gets paid to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Per your own TikTok views and engagement, you ain't getting paid to do this. Like, this ain't your job.
No.
I told Tony the part where I showed him the part where she was like, she's just trying to, make a name for herself. And he looks at me and he goes, God forbid a woman works. And I was just like,
Oh, Tony.
you're right, babe, because she literally doesn't.
Yeah, well, but she puts on scrubs, babe, and she goes on lunch dates in them.
I cannot. That's my favorite.
So,
I love it.
let's
Or
be
she'll be like, I'm
fair.
working from home today. Liz, you don't have a job.
I love it because it's like that's already been exposed like so much about like how she'll always say like she has like remote so she can go into the office or like work from home. Like it's like everybody knows that that's like your thing. Why are you still doing like why like the audacity? We'll give her that. Like she has audacity. But
Yeah,
she doesn't
it's
use it
just-
for any good. Anyways,
Mm-mm.
done
No,
with
I
that. We were not.
So
What journey am I going on?
I'm so excited. I cannot wait. So, one of my favorite things is when, not only like when people around and find out,
Mm-hmm.
duh, we've made careers off of it. However, when people, like, when people are like, Cece Suarez doxed somebody.
Oh,
Ma'am,
yeah.
go back under your bridge. Tell someone else your riddle because it is not it. Your first and last name is on your TikTok page. Your page might be private, but that is it. Like,
it's on there, yeah.
I didn't expose that. You did. Like, what are you? That's like wearing a shirt with your first, like your government name on it and then getting mad that, and like posting a picture of that publicly and then people knowing your name. Like, what the?
That's actually such a really good analogy, babe. I'm going to use that moving forward. Like putting something on it and going in public because it's so true.
I am the hyperbole queen.
Yes.
Anyways, so that's obnoxious, obviously. But another great example of this is when people, no offense, Bunny, but when Bunny or someone like that used to be like, you can't post my picture.
Right.
You can't, girl. Someone I did a video about, Amanda Lawrence, obnoxious wig scammer.
Oh,
she
right.
had.
Yeah.
She said, you cannot say my business name. It's trademarked. What?
Again, audacity. Like, and to just like confidently go through life.
Like, girl, so can I say Disney? Can I say Louis Vuitton? What's going on here?
Louis Vuitton.
Oh,
Wow.
God, that's how Peter Mon pronounces it. I love him so much. Okay, so along those same lines, when people are like, you don't have my permission, not to sound like a boomer on Facebook, but like, Facebook does not have my permission to use my photos.
Oh my God, I love those.
In all caps. Ma'am, first of all, you just posted an AI video. Second of all, you posted it publicly to the internet. What the are you talking about?
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. You're going to appreciate this thought. I have to say it while you said that because of the AI. So yesterday, you'll love this because it's such a Brent moment. My dad's been over, right? Which is so lovely. So we've been catching up and the two of them, they always have business ideas, right? So they're trying to bring back drive-in like movie theaters or, a drive-in.
Okay.
So I'm like, they've got all these ideas. They're going to like, yeah, okay, we should do it here. And I'm like, or why don't you do like those things that they have on the internet right now where like you get like an AI concept and then you promote that and you see the engagement. So like get your dream drive-in, put it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever and make it look like it's real through like AI or whatever design. And that's how you can see the engagement. My dad's like, that's so smart. Do people do that? I'm like, oh, I get catfished by that all the time with like the floating bar or like the John Deere floating tractors. Brent goes, those aren't real. No, he's like, I almost ordered the John Deere tractor the other day. I'm like, did you? He's like, I checked Shop Now. How this man has not had his identity stolen and I have is beyond me. He believes it. Anyways, when you said AI, that's what made me think about it, but I don't understand.
Oh, God. Well, just hide his own credit card details from him, please.
Literally. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Keep going when you said AI.
No, I'm concerned. I'm concerned for him.
He believes everything though. And then he spreads false information. So he would be the kind of guy to like send that to like all of his friends and be like, let's get these, or like, let's get this floating bar. You'll love it. Look how great it looks. And then now you've got all of your friends in scams.
Tony does that too. He's tried to tell me multiple things. And I was like, okay, where'd you hear that from, babe?
That's my favorite. I ask him the same.
Yeah. And then it's never anything good. And he's like, yeah, I read it. And I'm like, you read it or you saw a TikTok? Like, what are you doing? Girl,
he believed the TikTok, like the AI thing of Eddie Murphy saying that the whole like the Diddy conspiracy of him testifying. I'm like, go on Google and say, did Eddie Murphy testify today? No. I'm like, it's one of those conspiracy theories. He's like, oh. And so he was like going around spreading this whatever, like this salacious. I'm like, the trial's a fucking show on its own. And he's just out there spreading information about Eddie Murphy testifying about horrific things that he saw. It's like, God damn it.
Slander.
Brent.
Slander. Eddie, get him.
Get him.
Well.
Okay,
get
sorry,
him. Well,
now I'm ready.
No. I feel like you weren't ready before, but now you're in the right mood. So this happens to both of us, but if something is posted publicly, it can absolutely be put in a commentary video.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I want to start where I first saw, like where I first came across it, because I feel like that's
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So come on this wild ride with me.
Okay.
Now, all right. So this is, I already forgot her name. This is Quilts and Cats. Love both those things.
Yeah.
And we're going to go ahead and let her tell us what has happened to her.
Okay.
A random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about me using videos that he stole from my TikTok account, and now I'm being harassed by hundreds of people online. He refuses to delete the video despite knowing that I am being harassed by all of these people. He does not care. He only wants to make money. I am genuinely scared because the number of people is increasing exponentially the longer that video is up. And nobody will help me. The police won't take me seriously until somebody tries to hurt me or makes an actual threat of violence, but I don't think TikTok would let me see those comments. I keep seeing that, oh, I have 4 filtered comments, but they're not there. No one will take me seriously and I don't know what to do, and I'm starting to get really scared because the number of people harassing me is only increasing exponentially and they're starting to figure out my entire name. Apparently my only route to resolve any of this is to take it to civil court, which would take months. And by that point, how many people do you think would be harassing me? Because this man has nearly 500,000 subscribers of really scary people. They keep telling me that I'm just a victim and I'm so whiny. I mean, generally when somebody does something to you against your will, that kind of makes you a victim, you know? Being subjected to the harassment of 400,000 people? Yeah.
Now, I would like your... Oh, okay. How does that make you feel? What are your first... What do you think? Tell me your thoughts.
I feel like I've personally victimized her for whatever reason. Yeah. I want to make sure she's okay. I'm like, are you laughing? Are you crying, babe? And I get it. I can go from one to the other. I'm just confused. I'm very confused.
So let's first preface by saying this. What were the shirt ideas that you had the other day?
Okay, wait. Those are actually really good. We need somebody to make those for us. Okay, wait, what were they?
Okay.
All I just saw from you was suck ass bitch.
Such a ass bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And then
where
me saying I'm high off justice.
where was it? We talked too
Oh,
much.
you literally need a shirt that says, "Don't look at me too long. I will cry." And I need one that says, "Don't yell at me. I'll prove you wrong and then get horny."
Yeah, we need those.
And Sherilyn said, "Happy, I cry. Sad, I cry. Angry, really cry. Thinking about my weatherman that retired, game over." So I love that you're like, I just like, we should check on her. Meanwhile, I'm like, girl, shut up.
Well,
Shut-
she just
please shut
it
up.
Seems like she's
You're not-
crashing out.
You're not a victim. He didn't make, like, already when I saw this, I was like, first and foremost,
You have to wonder why someone's making a video of you. I guess like when I'm thinking of it like as a YouTuber like commentary like standpoint, then you're like, okay, well, what did he make the video on? What happened?
well, girl, we're not even to that yet. My first thing was he stole videos from your TikTok
Yeah,
that you posted publicly to the internet. Like,
that's not how it works. And that's
by the way, I've been loving hot chai tea lattes.
Oh, I love them. And from Starbucks. Yeah. I usually only get them at like Christmas time and then I get it with eggnog in it.
Ooh, I hate eggnog. It's disgusting. My Cuban father-in-law calls eggnog eggnog,
Oh.
and he always tries to get all of us to drink it.
Oh, I'll drink it with him
Every
all day.
time we say no.
I'll drink it with him all day. Does he put rum in it at Christmas time?
Yeah, how else do you drink eggnog?
Oh, I'll drink it straight.
That's jizz. That's holiday jizz. That's Santa's semen.
It is.
Disgusting.
I love it.
Mm.
That's holiday
Yeah.
jizz. Oh my God.
Yeah. So back to this girl.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know if, like, I don't even know how to put it into words because it's giving I shouldn't be on the internet. And I know that sounds like, or like this is my first time anyone has talked to me on the internet. And it's also giving, well, like Jesse and Lily talk about a lot, like, I'm getting death threats. Are you?
Right.
Are you getting people telling you to go off yourself? That's technically not, like, legally, it's not a death threat. A death threat is, I'm coming to your house and I'm going to kill you.
Right.
That's a death threat.
And
But,
that's
like-
insane. If anybody gets that triggered on the internet about somebody,
Yeah.
like that says so much more about them than you. That's unhinged.
Yeah, I see a lot of times people being like, I'm being harassed. And it's like, let me see.
Yeah.
Like, just because people are having not the greatest opinion of you, or hey, maybe people are being rude, but that doesn't mean you're being harassed. It
Mhm.
just means you're getting an influx of not positive
Negativity,
attention.
and that's like you just weren't expecting it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which that for someone who has not dealt with that sucks.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But like,
Especially because you've put something out there that obviously you were expecting the opposite reaction of. Like she's not
yeah.
she's not gonna make like a story time for somebody like to be like, come and give it to me, guys. No.
Oh my God, you know what? You know what's probably gonna happen?
What?
She's not gonna like this one, but she's probably gonna. Oh no, I really hope it doesn't happen
What?
because I won't be able to stop. You
Oh,
know,
no.
she's probably, if this is how she reacted to him,
Yeah.
she's probably gonna come to see ours and be like, 2 women on a podcast made a whole episode about me.
It's
God
giving
forbid we
rug
have-
lady.
Oh,
She's already kind of giving rug lady, like with the virality, like you know what I mean, like with being like, don't, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, well, let's
weird.
just see. I do want if she
s-
is here. I have questions like just based on this first one, like I have a lot. No, let's just keep going. I don't want to ask.
Yeah,
anything.
no, you don't get to ask questions yet.
Yeah, I don't
Stop that. Stop it.
Stop talking.
You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. So, right when I saw that, I was like, all right, well, let me see what this guy said. And of course, right when we see that, we're going to be biased because we are commentary creators. And being women in commentary too, we always have people saying dumbass shit to us like that. So, let's watch his video, the random man who made a 40-minute long video on about her.
So I came across a recent video of a woman who posted a toxic interaction she had with a boss, and the video went absolutely viral on TikTok. And as I was digging into her story more and trying to understand this boss's toxic behavior, what I started to notice was there was much more to the story than met the eye. So as I started peeling the onion back, there was a lot of layers to go through, and the story kept on getting more and more interesting. And I want everybody to put their career coaching and human resources caps on here as we watch this video and try to determine, is this a case of a toxic boss,
Chelsea,
or a
put your
toxic
horns
company,
on.
potentially even a toxic human resource department?
What?
When he's like, I want you to put your critical thinking and corporate whatever, I was like, put your horns on.
All right, I got him. Listen, he does. I don't even want to be like he talks slow. I think it's just that we're really impatient.
We are.
Having said that, I'm going to go ahead and up the playback speed.
Yeah, I'll listen from
And
you.
That's what we're going to do.
Or is it a toxic employee? And I'd like to hear your opinions on it. So the account in question is this Alison. You can see ALISONNN_. And she is making, or has been making, a series of content about her unemployment. And what caught my attention was an interaction she had between her and this toxic boss. And so as I was watching it, I actually saw another video first, but I was a little bit confused about the context of the video and was not really quite sure what she was talking about or why this manager and her were having this interaction. And she actually explains it. So I think what I'm gonna do is start with showing the explanation of the conversation, and then we'll look at the conversation itself. And it's pretty lengthy. So both of these videos, I'm gonna have to kind of be more selective with my editing here because I think there's it'll be too long of a video. But I want to kind of try to give you a flavor of the most important things that are discussed in these videos. And I want to put my career coaching cap on here and look at it from that lens. So I'm operating with.
How many caps does this man
How
have?
many caps? I was just going to say, I'm like looking around. I'm like, okay, now I need a cap.
Is his name Greg?
He looks like a Greg.
I
also thought
Listen.
like an Andrew. He looks like he's related to Andrew somehow.
Do you think it's the lack of neck? Would you say? Would you say that it's the lack of neck? Hey, some of us don't have strong necks. Some of us don't have strong chins. Some of us have fat necks.
Yeah.
I am in the thick neck category.
I'm in the thick double chin category. Huh. It's okay.
I think it's hot. I'll lick that right now. I'm pretty sure I have. Oh, I had a dream that we snuggled.
Oh, that's nice.
I miss you. Can you come back? I say come back. You've never been here. Isn't that weird? We've never been to each other's houses.
Yeah. Tour each other's houses. That's so cute.
What are you talking about? We're in the same room.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry.
How dare you insinuate that we're not?
You're the one who brought it up.
I don't know what you're talking about. Welcome back to CC Gaslight's Share for
Yeah.
30 minutes. Okay.
With limited information. I'm operating with the information that she has provided. She has these TikTok videos, and we don't know what the other side of the conversation is, what the other side of the story is. And of course, there's always two sides to every story. As employees, some of us like to have victimhood mentalities, or we come from that position where the boss is bad, no matter what happens, the employer's bad. I'm not saying in her case that is the case, but I want to look at it through the lens of career coaching, because most of us will probably find ourselves in a relatively confrontational or toxic situation with a boss at some point in our career, just the inevitability. And let's face it, a lot of bosses are thrown into these roles without a whole lot of skill or competency. And I've had bosses myself that I sit there and scratch my head and say, I wonder how this person ever got this role.
This guy is eloquent as shit.
Yes.
Us cannot relate.
I know. I love it. I love his delivery. That's why you have half a
I
million
don't love how
subscribers.
long it's taking him
No,
to
we're
get
good for
into.
you, Greg. No, but he's making great points.
He also looks like a Craig.
Craig
And
and Greg.
Isn't that the point of all of it? All the Gregs look like Craigs. Okay, sorry. What's going on?
But nonetheless, there is a right way and a not so right way to handle yourself in a professional setting, especially if you're career minded. And everything we do is based on strategy. So let's start with her explanation of this conversation that we will watch afterward.
Okay.
I posted part of a conversation I had with my former manager, and I definitely didn't expect it to blow up, so I'll provide a little bit more context. This was a really small team of about 5 people, only me and one other person were non-management. After a year of being at that company, my wonderful manager was replaced with this woman who was determined to hate me from day one. A lot of other teams at the company would have team interviews before they hired anybody, but they just hired her and said, I hope it works out for you, and nobody ever evaluated how she was treating me.
Okay, so I'm not sure how she knows what the hiring process is for the boss, because at her level, she wouldn't be privy to it. So obviously,
That's true.
she's gotten terminated from her position. So there's going to be a degree of, how do you say this? Just to say, butthurtness about it. So I understand where she's coming
Fluffernuss?
from in that regard. There is a little bit of venom in her voice.
Being butthurt? Have you ever heard that?
No, butt hurtness. I thought he said flufferness.
I would like a flufferness. Where do I order that?
I don't know, because my mom calls Toots Fluffs. So I think I'm going to call Reverie Queen Flufferness now.
Oh.
Carry on. Why do people come back? Why do you do this with me?
Oh, honey, I've been asking myself that, but you know what? I'm in it now. We're a year in. The podcast is almost a year old. We're at over 20,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
There is not any turning back.
Of return.
Yeah. You got me. Exactly. Maniacal cackle.
She is assigning a judgment from her perspective, but we don't know how this person was hired, and so she's placing judgment on.
During the transition, I absorbed half of my first manager's responsibilities, and they were not shifted back to the new manager. And I brought this up several times because I was actually making less money than I did when I started, so I wasn't going to do half of my manager's job while she made 6 figures for doing absolutely nothing.
Okay, so that comment to me is very telling. She is assigning judgment on her boss's performance from her perspective. What she sees, she is determining that the boss does absolutely nothing. She doesn't know what the boss is doing behind the scenes. She doesn't know what the boss is doing with the director, the senior directors of the organization, or what other projects they may be bringing on. She is just assigning judgment from her perspective that the boss doesn't do anything. They just sit around and collect these huge paychecks and we do all the work.
The new manager avoided talking to me as much as possible, and if I ever asked her for help, she would tell me to go find answers elsewhere. It's as if her goal was to set me up for failure. And she also had her Outlook calendar hidden from me, so I genuinely have no idea what that one was doing on a daily basis. I hadn't taken any days off since the new manager joined the team and had over 100 hours of PTO stacked up, so after 4 months, I finally took...
I have a question, girl.
Yeah.
Why does your manager need to see or give you access to her calendar? Like, that's not... You just need to know when she's available and not available. You don't get access to her calendar. That's weird.
That is insane, actually. And condescending to be like, I'm not, while she sits on her ass and makes all this money and I do all the work. It's like, oh my God, people with that type of mentality is, it doesn't give me a lot of hope for the future.
No, it doesn't. Also, I hadn't realized prior to this that her video of her the video that ignited all of this went viral. I didn't know that. So I think that adds an extra layer to it. And it's like, oh, okay, so you got all this attention due to something that you put out there.
Right.
Like you said, it didn't go the way that you were expecting it to. And now.
Yeah. And now it's Greg Craig's fault because he talked about it.
Yeah. Yikes, Greg Craig.
A week off. I met with her the Wednesday before I was supposed to leave, and she said that we could meet again to discuss coverage, and then I emailed her on Thursday and got an out-of-office message saying she would be gone Thursday and Friday. With my first manager, anytime somebody went out of office, the rest of the team would cover for them, and you would come back and it would be an easy transition. The new manager never discussed what would happen if somebody went out of office because she left before that could happen. I was supposed to leave at noon on Friday, but I worked 6 hours of overtime to make sure that the team would be in a good spot during my absence. I made really detailed notes about everything I was working on, what needed to be covered, and I put those in a mutual spot and also emailed those to my manager. But I checked throughout the week that I was on PTO and could see that the team email inbox was being completely ignored. When I returned to work, my manager had absolutely no intention of telling me what happened the week that I was gone, and I could tell that a lot of tasks had been ignored, so I emailed the director expressing concern for the lack of coverage for my position. Only then did my manager put a last-minute meeting on my calendar. This meeting was after 4 months of her treating me much worse, so when I came back from PTO and had been screwed, I was really upset, and I was really emotional because our job is supposed to help save lives, but my manager always actively worked against me. She was pissed that she had to be in that meeting, which is pretty obvious. She wouldn't listen to anything that I said and tried to blame everything on an IT transition. I was at my breaking point, so I finally went to HR and reported her multiple times. But HR could never prove that she was treating me badly because the meetings weren't recorded. So things only got worse. They started making me physically count every single email that I sent and received. And there were weeks that I was processing over 800 emails and still had so many other things that I had to do. In April, I was laid off, and they claimed it was for financial reasons, and that the conversations about which positions to eliminate had been ongoing for months. But if that was true, they wouldn't have hired a new girl to fill the open position on her team. They would have eliminated the open position. I sent this video and a plethora of other evidence to HR. The vice president and director of HR both saw this video and everything else, knew how my manager had treated me, but nothing happened. She still has her job.
Let's stop there and just kind of react to what she says. So it sounds to me like this new manager came in, there wasn't good communication. Sounds like the manager had some problems with communication and was not fully or effectively transitioning things when people went onto vacations and kind of managed the team emails. And probably rightfully so. She's upset because she takes a lot of pride in her work and wants things to be running smoothly. And with the previous boss, they had a good working cadence, and so obviously disconnect there. There's a disconnect in, it sounds like, expectations as well. So all that stuff aside, she runs to the human resources department and complains a couple of times. And here's the deal. Human resources is not your friend. They are not the person that you go and tattle to. They're not the department that is the police of the organization who's going to come in and tell bad manager to chip up or shape out.
Yeah.
When you go into the human resources department, you essentially are putting a target on your back. And I hate to say it because we feel like we should be able to go in with confidence. And in some cases, HR will kind of play the good cop, bad cop and get you to lower your guard, and they'll have you say things. And I've been on both. Now this human resource department is likely looking at her as a problem. And especially because she's admitting to recording some of these conversations, and we'll go into that a little bit more deeply in just a minute here. But let's hear what she has to say about this this EEOC meeting.
Contacted the EEOC, but I had to wait until September to meet with them. In April, I was laid off, and they claimed it was for financial reasons, and that the conversations about which positions to eliminate had been ongoing for months. I sent this video and a plethora of other evidence to HR. The vice president and director of HR both saw this video and everything else, knew how my manager had treated me, but nothing happened. She still has her job. I finally had my meeting with the EEOC in September and received the update today that they're not going to investigate. My manager would have had to be more specific about her discrimination, say, I hate you because you have this disability, or I'm treating you badly because you have this disability. She knew how to discriminate and get away with it. She knew not to say the magic words.
The fact that the EEOC has declined to even investigate the case further is very telling, because the EEOC is very much employee focused. In the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. But in the court of...
So I'm not really understanding so far what the she's mad about.
I don't know what's going on.
Then again,
I think she's saying wrongful termination, I think is what she's trying to say, because
no. I get that. I get that.
Oh.
I understand it can be very frustrating, and when you're in a situation like a professional and work conflict, you don't like your manager, whatever. I've literally been there and I get it. I'm talking about regarding a video being made about her. Because
this guy. Yeah, he's so fair.
Yes. Again, we're only 14 minutes into it, but he's talking about how complaints are handled and all that. However, I do want to get into him talking about two-party consent for recordings, because the boss didn't know that she was being recorded.
She recorded her.
Yeah. She recorded one of their meetings, and then she posted it online, and the boss didn't know.
Do we have it?
Yeah. The girl posted it to TikTok.
Oh, I never saw it.
I haven't either.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
So I want to jump over and actually hear the conversation that she had with her boss. I started to wonder where the issue truly was. Now, a couple quick things to keep in mind. She is now disclosing who the company is. So the previous video, she said she didn't want to disclose the company. So it's this McKesson and this other company that's associated with them. And she is also recording this manager. And I'm assuming she is recording this manager without the manager's knowledge and then posting it to TikTok. So that is potentially an issue, and an issue that you can get into pretty serious legal hot water with if you're not careful. You have to get the other person's permission and let them know that you're recording any video. So like when I'm doing my career coaching calls, if I decide I want to record the call for whatever reason, or take like AI notes on it, I have to let the other person know that I'm recording for those purposes, and I have to get their verbal permission. And in her case, I'm assuming that this manager did not agree to that. So this is a pretty big shade of gray, what she's doing here. She could potentially get some pretty serious trouble.
Did you say that we could meet to discuss coverage and then go out of office without telling me?
I don't recall having that happen. Everybody else knew I was going to be gone, so apparently you missed the meeting where we talked about it.
Where was it talked about?
In casual conversation. And
like, I should be aware of these things, Like, I should have some awareness to it if my manager's not going to be here.
How would you like to be made aware?
To be told, Like,
okay.
What meeting was this information shared on that I wasn't a part of? Like, where?
We have team meetings all the time, and we talk about all kinds of stuff. So
I met with you on Wednesday, and you gave me no information that said that you were going to be gone the rest of the week. You said we can meet to discuss coverage, and so I was under the impression we would be doing that.
For that miscommunication.
I expected that, the responsibilities for my position, would have been covered.
And that's not what I'm asking. I need you to be specific with me, Allison. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse here. Did you expect everything in the inbox to be gone?
No, but I expected at least some stuff to be gone,
Okay, so it does sound like the manager probably doesn't have a very good cadence for handling people who are out of office. And it does sound like there's a consistent communication issue with the manager. So I do think we can establish that as being the case. And if I was investigating this from a human resource perspective, I'd be looking at that and saying, okay, there's some disconnects there. Now, the expectations of what work needs to get done, when it's not necessarily this employee's job to determine what the manager should and shouldn't be working on while she's gone from her on vacation.
Yeah.
He's being so nice.
He's being so nice and valid.
Well, let's say fair, because a lot of people will, for instance, this face, they'll see it and be like, she's a bitch. Mm-hmm. When in reality, it's like, I'm just not sunshine and rainbows. Mm-hmm. I'm just autistic, Mm-hmm. So it's quite interesting. But obviously men don't get told to smile more.
Right.
But no, I think he's being very assertive and very even keel and very professional. And it seems like that's his cadence on his channel. So it's very interesting that she's having this reaction.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we're missing anything.
I don't at this point, not yet. Watch him just turn into Craig from Greg.
Yeah. No. Oh no.
It's the manager's job to decide what should be picked up and move forward. It's her job to just communicate these are the things that need to be done, and then let the manager handle figuring out how they want to get it done. I feel like she is in a way is delegating upward. That could potentially rub a manager the wrong way.
I made this whole list of items that were being worked on, and I highlighted a couple that I wanted to make sure were resolved, and they weren't as far as I can tell, they weren't taken further. There were just some things that could have been.
One of those, please.
I don't know why I spent so much time trying to make notes for like all what was going on with all of these, and then I'm just kind of left out without any knowledge of what happened or.
Well, but that's what teams do. So when we have processes that we follow, and when we're all following the same process, you have a question about something, we know where to go look, and so there is no need to provide really long, lengthy, detailed correspondence about what I did.
I feel like if I take the time to tell you that these items are what I was working on, like it would have been helpful to know that they were resolved and not just have no awareness of what happened.
Well, I just told you one that was, so give me another one. I'm going to make you be very specific with me, Allison.
Well, I also know that none of the access requests were done.
No, we didn't do many access requests last
No.
week because we were listen to me. It was not reasonable to be putting access requests into a system that was unstable.
So it's clear that the manager is starting to get pretty upset with the conversation, and you kind of look at the facial expression of the employee here, Allison. The dynamic is starting to devolve, and so the manager saying, "Listen to me." Obviously, she's clearly hitting a nerve and is getting frustrated with the employee. If I'm the employee, if I'm Allison, I'm probably backing down and trying to de-escalate the situation, because really what's happening is the manager's just getting upset.
Okay, well, why couldn't somebody do them last week when they were submitted? One of them's been pending for weeks.
What did I just tell you? What did I just explain it to you? I just explained it to you.
But so,
Yeah, you can clearly hear how agitated the manager is getting right now.
Jesus.
She's getting very upset. And so Allison needs to step back, de-escalate, and just finish up the call as quickly as she can. That's what I would do if I was in her situation. She's digging herself a much bigger hole here.
but I'm supposed to use the same system that was broken last week, but now it's not broken?
That's not at all what I said. Because there was only a handful of them.
I know, but I still, I got everything handled to where it was at a good point, and I'm coming back to utter chaos. And
No, Allison, the other chaos, honey, is caused by this IT transition.
in the past, anytime that I've gone out of office, the team has taken over what was needed. I've never come back to have the work from last week still here that I need to do. I don't know what's been completed. I don't know what still needs action. I tried to be very helpful to you, and I don't think you're even being helpful to me.
Now, Allison seems to be getting emotional.
That's very sad. I can definitely understand having things like in a professional setting like that. You before you go on PTO or whatever, you're making sure, okay, all of this is done. I'm covered. I mean, even we try to do that before, we go on a trip or something like that. And that way, things are handled while we're gone. Then we come back and it's not a show. That doesn't always happen, obviously. But I understand that's frustrating and that sucks. I do think from a professional standpoint, there needs to be a paper trail, and all of this should have been in email. And that way it would have been I understand her wanting to record the call. So it's no, now you can see how she's treating me and how
Right.
inappropriate
her
this is.
popping off like that easily is
Yeah. But then also if it's an internal call, all of those calls should be recorded
Mm-hmm.
in their internal system. So that's interesting. But anyways, yeah, so I don't know, man, that's weird.
I said, I want to ensure the Startup Teams Clinic lists are updated. They've been using outdated lists.
Her message is September 15th.
Yes, I've mentioned it several times.
Well, clearly it's not registering, and she should be the one that's. I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is I've asked multiple times if I can work with her to get an updated list for her team to use.
And did you not just tell me that you have already provided them a list from now?
Yes. I don't know if that's what they need or not. And I was just hoping that you could follow up with her, manager to manager, and make sure we get on the same understanding.
Again, what she's doing is she's trying to delegate upward, and she's trying to assign her boss tasks for
Yeah.
her. And the boss is clearly agitated, completely agitated with her and her. There's to me, it comes across as maybe a lack of respect. She is acting very beside herself about, how dare you not keep things in order the way that they should have
Yeah.
been, how I set them up for you. What do you mean you didn't do these things? Well, what happened with this thing, and what happened with that thing? And the boss is starting to get pretty upset about it. So, this is just not a healthy conversation at all between these two.
I can definitely understand that. I've been in that type of situation before where someone comes in or I come in. I worked at this place, and instead of coming in as a manager, the director who hired me was like, okay, it'll be better if you come in and are like a customer service rep first, get a hang of things. And after 3 months or 4 months, I think it was like 4. She's like, then I'm going to promote you to the manager of the call center. And I was like, love that for me. Awesome. And then also people wouldn't be like, oh, she just hired you because you're her friend. And it's like, no, we've worked together before.
Mm-hmm.
She knows I'm not an idiot. Like literally all of you are. They were special bunch. But yeah, so I understand that because a lot of people were pissed that had also applied for that job, but were not qualified at all. Like,
Right.
not at all. Had no past experience, literally like nothing. And when you're, either the manager of someone who's older than you or has been there longer than you, there can be some resentment and like, oh, I know how to do this better and blah, blah. And it's like, well, that's not how we're going to do this. And that's not best for, our metrics and our, KPIs and blah, blah, blah. And so I can understand the frustration from that. And I think it's important to like have some nuance when it comes to like the history there that like we don't really know about. We only know, like Greg said, we only know the employees side right now.
Right.
But yeah, her like,
But usually, like in those types of situations, and again, like we don't know, we're just speculating here. But if there is like a position and an opening, like you would know that within your company, you would probably be given also the same opportunity to like apply for it. And there's a reason why you didn't get chosen. Is like, of course, like we think like, oh, obviously she could have thought that she could have done the job better because she's pretty much said that she could have. I don't know if she applied or not and didn't get it and somebody else did. But even my girlfriend right now is going through that. Like she was hired at a new company as the manager, and there's like this one staff member who is just like, she's like pushing her, like, and she's so fucking sweet, like she would never like break, but she's like, she's just got to be like firm, like, because this girl like will literally go, I'll be watching you, I'm watching you, I'm going to give you a hard time, I'm going to give you a hard time. And it's like, babe, if you were qualified, you would have been hired. You would have been promoted.
Yeah, it's kind of like Bean's godfather, Siraj, he was promoted to like the head of the like gang investigation unit or some I always get that wrong. We've been trying to hook him up with one of our neighbors, and I was like, yeah, he does this job. And I was like, yeah, I told her you do this. And he's like, that's not what I do. And I was like, oh, cool. Well, can you act like it? Because she thinks that's what you do. But he had someone who like that type of situation where it was like between this person and him to get the job. And this person was like actively like talking about him. And now Siraj is his boss. And I was, and yeah, I'm like, oop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hilarious. I also
Again,
think
another thing that you don't want to really admit about yourself, but being like, okay, like I guess I wasn't as qualified and there's a reason. Not to say that like she's not valid and that like things have clearly not been like handled the best. Like I don't like how easily that manager was triggered. Again, we don't know what was happening behind the scenes before record was clicked, but
yeah,
you got to be able to hold it together.
Yeah, it's also like I think how she's reacting to this situation is kind of like, it also, I don't want to say it's telling, but like it also doesn't help our perception of her, Very interesting. Let's continue though.
I think your expectations are inappropriate.
And it feels like a lot of my roles like were just kind of ignored for a week, and then I have to come back and deal with like the repercussions.
Well, I'm sorry that you have work to do, though I'm feeling a little bit frustrated that you are not acknowledging the work that your team did, and that you were complaining to everybody today and probably didn't get a whole lot of work done because you were so upset. I think that your reaction is inappropriate.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I think her reaction is inappropriate as well. I have to agree with the manager here. I know that's probably going to get a bunch of people with pitchforks and torches out saying that, well, I'm siding with the manager here. And again, I'm only operating with very limited information. And if she's going around complaining to everybody in the department about how this work didn't get done, it's likely that some other people in the department went back and told the boss, because that's how it seems like the boss knew that she was complaining to everybody. And that's usually how it gets back, is somebody comes to the boss and says, hey, this person is really being chirpy right now.
I asked you if you expected the inbox. I asked you if you expected the inbox. I'm trying to figure out what your expectations are, Allison, and I can't get a straight
I
answer.
would just not like to have to come in here and not know what is happening. It would be so much easier for somebody who knows what's resolved to refile things instead of me seeing hundreds of emails and not know what's going on.
Allison, the whole reason that I called this meeting was for us to calmly go through those one by one so that I could explain it to you.
So according to her note, the manager is on this call or scheduled this call because she had emailed the senior director. So in other words, went around her boss, went and complained to human resources a couple times, went around her boss to the senior leader. The senior leader then goes to the boss and says, get this thing figured out, get on a call with her and get this thing hammered out. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And she's causing problems. So that's likely what happened. And so now this manager is coming in with this, what the hell's going on here type of meeting. And this meeting is just like, it's painful to listen to this.
Yeah.
And when I tried to do that, all you've done is argue with me.
I've never been trying to argue with you. You always sound like you're really frustrated and don't like me.
Well, and we've talked about that before.
And then your tone of voice continues to be the same.
I mean, she is, the manager's tone of voice is definitely agitated, and the employee is coming across as disrespectful to that there's a reporting relationship, and whether you like it or you don't like your boss, you still have to have a level of professionalism when you're interacting with them. And I'm not hearing that that level of respect. And it's not that you shouldn't have any backbone with your boss, but there's a right way to go about it. If I'm the boss and I have an employee who comes back with all these expectations and starts barking orders at me and demanding to know what the hell's going on with their pile of work that they are ultimately responsible for because it's their job, then I find out that they're going to human resources behind my back. Human resources come knocking on my door, and then my senior manager, my boss, is coming to my office and saying, "What the hell's going on with this person?" I'm probably not going to be too thrilled either. So I'm just kind of putting again that lens on and looking at it objectively. I know we all get emotional about work, toxic bosses, etc., but we have to look at this objectively.
Well, I'm very sorry that I'm a very direct person. I'm really sorry that that's offending you. I don't know what your expectations are.
I expected that we were going to talk about what needed to be done before I left, and that didn't happen. So I tried my best.
So that's a separate issue then.
Yes, it would have been much easier to discuss all this by the call that I thought was going to happen. And then I did my best to write it in notes. It was 5:30 p.m. on a Friday, 5.5 hours after I was supposed to clock out.
Okay, so she spent 5.5 hours working overtime, which was probably not authorized, or it doesn't even sound like it was really needed from the boss to create what she thought would be like work instructions for people who would be doing her job as she left. So she clearly had a disconnect. And honestly, if the boss the boss could potentially take issue with that you're working 5.5 hours of unauthorized overtime for something that we didn't even ask or didn't need. And she's getting upset about that.
And I did not have much more time to keep sitting there and typing these notes, because the notes weren't even really utilized.
Going forward, I will be.
It also is like, hey, who asked you to do that?
Yeah, that's the sad thing. I get it when you're like, obviously she has pride in her job and she's wanting to like make sure. Yeah, and so you're taking, this is the way I see it. I used to work so much overtime for a job that I like, so I never cared anything about it. I would never go out of my way to be like, I stayed up until midnight tonight to like make sure that like this looks good and that this is all organized and this is easier for you. No, because I want it to be like easy for everybody involved, and I like doing it. If you are already setting the expectation that you're annoyed doing something and no one's asked you to do it, and you're working overtime to get it done again and no one's asked you to do it, like that's not anyone else's fault but yours. It's nice to have the pride, but like,
yeah, but it's also like I know I used to like my manager back at Laser Spine Institute when I was in medical records, it was like around the same time I got married. It was like 2014, 2015, I think 2015, 2016. And we were like so behind on medical records. Like we had so much, it was insane. And so he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, how do you feel about uncapped overtime this week?" And I was like, "Alan, how do you feel about me working 12-hour shifts?" And he was like, "I feel like I love it." I was like, "Perfect." So I also would work on like special projects and like, but run it by him first so that it's like, he knows what I'm doing. If I'm like lagging on something else, like getting permission on things, and like, or if you are leaving for something, like, "Hey, do you want me to do this and this?" Yes, that is a good use of your time. Or no, don't worry about that. I've got it handled because I know that you're going out. Like giving instructions and delegating to other employees is literally your manager's job. So again, it's like she possibly unauthorized. Yeah. Again. And it's like, yeah, not a good situation overall.
Very deliberate about making sure if I'm going to be gone or you're going to be gone, that we have a sit down and that we review things. That's perfectly reasonable. We absolutely will make that happen.
Okay, so unfortunately, that's not the end of it. Long story short, with the previous videos is she gets laid off shortly thereafter. Again, keeping in mind that she had these interactions with her boss. She goes in and complains. She has gone to human resources twice. She has gone around her boss, her new boss, at least to the senior director at least once, and there has been some issues of communication that she's clearly addressed with her boss before. So I do think that there is some issues on both sides. I think that the new manager is not necessarily a great communicator, probably has not set up smooth work transition when, especially it sounds like she takes, when she leaves the office, she's not really communicating with the team. She's probably not doing a great job of managing the desk when people are out, and that's part of a manager's job. However, it does seem like the relationship between the two of them has degraded to the point where if you're this girl, if you're Allison, you have to recognize that this is not going anywhere fast, and you should never be caught off guard when these types of things, again, new boss, plus the relationship is very turbulent and there's a confrontational nature. Allison has a confrontational nature with her boss, and it does seem like there is a high degree of emotion between the two, the boss and the employee. Allison needs to, in my opinion, I would, if she had come to me for career coaching on how do I handle this, I would have told her, I think it's time that you start updating your resume because this is probably not going to end well for you. I would have told her not to go to human resources to go around her boss either, and handle it another way, and had a maybe met with the boss and hashed out some expectations. But at this point, the relationship has completely devolved. And if the man,
So then after she got fired, she posted this TikTok.
it's not surprising that there's a layoff. So let's hear what happens after the layoff.
I posted a video that went viral on LinkedIn, and I know it's not going to get any engagement because I only have like 20 connections on there, but I tagged both CEOs. The CEO of McKesson untagged himself. That means Homeboy has seen it, is fully aware of everything, and untagged himself. I'm like, okay, Brian, I'll just retag you. That's crazy that he untagged himself, dude. That is insane.
So she's making these TikTok videos and posting them all over the place. She's making videos on LinkedIn. She's tagging the CEOs of the company. So she's going all the way to the tops of these organizations, and she's basically scarlet lettering herself to not only these companies, but to the industry as a whole.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
That's,
On your LinkedIn?
yeah,
Oh,
and
no.
tagging the CEOs, and
Oh, no.
like that's no, girl. That is putting that's blacklisting yourself, like you said, a scarlet letter,
Yeah.
and in your industry specifically, and that's people are not gonna want to work with you at all. LinkedIn's wild. Posting a video on there is crazy, but like,
Yeah.
like okay, millennial, go off. But girl, that like, why is she surprised that someone made a video about it when she's like, you clearly wanted it to get attention,
Yeah.
so now you're mad that it got attention?
It's not siding with her, like, but and then you can even see that like, I mean, not, I don't know her, but it just like based off of what she's already showing, and like even that recorded conversation, it's like when things don't go as she's expected it to go, then all of a sudden it's everybody else's fault. Is that
Good
fair
Lord.
to say?
I don't know.
My last company celebrated my 2-year anniversary by illegally laying me off because I'd reported my new manager multiple times to HR for harassment, bullying, and discrimination. And they chose to protect her and leave me to face homelessness in a city where I don't have any friends, family, or resources. And today I want to talk about the cease and desist. And more importantly, I want to share how I responded to their cease and desist.
The cease and desist evidently came from all the videos that she's been posting and recording these people without their knowledge, etc.
So I said, I believe you're a bit mistaken. Susan made numerous disparaging remarks about me over the course of 10 months, which
Holy, she put the lady's government name first and last, girl. Damn, see. Here's the thing, though.
So she kept going. She kept going and posting.
Yeah, but she is freaked out about his video and people finding out her last name. But then you post your ex-manager's first and last name?
Yeah,
Holy
that's the entitlement and the audacity.
I have on audio recording. SRI decided to damage their own reputation when they hired a woman who has a reputation for disrespecting and harassing her subordinates. It was unprofessional for SRI to hire an unqualified woman due to nepotism. It was unprofessional for SRI to know that one of their employees has disabilities and to force them to work under a bigot with zero support. It was unprofessional for that woman to do everything in her power to create a toxic work environment because she was trying to force a disabled employee to quit. It was unprofessional for SRI to be completely compliant in the discrimination, harassment, and bullying of a disabled employee. Furthermore, it was unprofessional for SRI to retaliate against a disabled employee by laying them off.
She censored out the senior director's name, but then just put her manager's name out there.
And this, am I mistaken, or is this the first time that she's ever like mentioned anything about any like disability or anything like that? Because that initially was not I don't know obviously what it is because it's the first time hearing of it, but that didn't seem to be her issue on that recorded call. It was about the delegations that she had made in the to-do list and then not knowing where that was.
So it was on the screen. It was written on the screen because it said that, that's how this company and this company like treat a disabled employee or something like that. And it's like, okay. I guess like, yeah, they would know that you're disabled. I don't know. And also I don't know what your disability is. I'm not trying to say like I don't care what your disability is.
No.
Also,
Yeah, that was the first I heard about it, so I
relevant?
wasn't sure. Yeah, it just didn't seem relevant to like the context that she was initially putting out there. It was that she didn't get along with her manager. Her manager was not qualified. Her manager gave her attitude and bullied it, bullied her, I think she said, and then they scrapped on the phone on that recorded call over like the delegations and her like kind of like overstepping. So that's what I've grasped up till this point.
girl,
In regards to your precious severance agreement, I have the Vice President of HR on audio recording lying to me and misrepresenting how the terms of that agreement would play out. Had she told the truth, I may not have signed the agreement. Since McKesson has decided to get involved and continue to support an abusive director, I'd be more than happy to let the world know that McKesson condones vertical violence of disabled employees. McKesson is a much more recognizable name than SCRI, so that should help with my engagement. You forget that I have absolutely nothing to lose since my source of financial stability was taken away due to SCRI's harmful decision to hire an abusive woman. You would think, given the circumstances, that SCRI and McKesson wouldn't continue to act with such hostility towards a hardworking employee who can damage the reputation of both companies by simply telling the truth about their experience. Yet you continue to show that these companies are devoid of empathy and basic human decency. Thanks for demonstrating the company's lack of values. Signed, Allison, Master of Science. A lot of people are saying that I shouldn't be naming her, but I don't care. That woman ruined my life, and I think she deserves to know that she's a bad person.
Whoa. I'm trying to withhold off the rails is probably the term that comes to mind here. I just think that this is probably a case where she should just delete her social media and try to start fresh and just move on. Judging from the comments, I've just kind of read through some of the comments, and I can't confirm this 100%, but it sounds like she's not able to find a lawyer to represent her either. So the EEOC and attorneys are not picking up the case, and she's creating a very visible issue, and she's posting it on LinkedIn. She's posting it on TikTok, and recruiters hiring teams from other companies will indeed be looking on socials. They do this stuff. They look at your social media, and if they see this kind of stuff, no employer's going to hire her. So unfortunately, she's going down a really bad path, and I feel bad for her. I feel like she is just...
Okay. Now, do you think after that entire video, and we did skip around a good bit, so if you want to watch his whole video, do it. But what'd you think?
I thought he was very fair. Like, the way that she came on her TikTok, like that first one that we saw, I would have expected him that entire video to have been like
Fuck this lady.
doxing her and like, yeah, go get her, like go tell, like I thought he was fair.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was very confused. And the thing is, though, is that how would you feel if I told you it gets worse?
No, I mean, for the sake of just like the entertainment aspect of it, I'd love it. But I'm worried about Allison crashing out.
Perfect. Okay, so we watched a random man made a video about me, right?
Right.
Well, so that wasn't even...
Well, and he's not a random man. That man has almost 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that is not an easy feat. I tell you that.
Correct. So her first one was an unemployed rant, and that was...
I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent in a couple weeks, and that's terrifying, but I'm trying not to be too overwhelmed about it because all I've known for the last year is stress. Employed people don't seem to understand that now.
Okay. So it looks as if, though, she didn't delete the video, or did she? Actually, yeah, it looks like she did. But yeah, so she has, talked about it, whatever. Her disability, she says that she has a TBI, traumatic brain injury.
Okay. That actually does give context. I do like knowing that. It does give context because I had an uncle with a traumatic brain injury. He only just passed away this year. I love him so much. But in terms of emotion regulation, very hard, right? He would get triggered by certain things that wouldn't necessarily upset most people. Huh. And so that can make sense. But
and we're not saying that everyone with a TBI has that.
No.
Yeah,
it also depends on where it was. His is very frontal. So we don't know where it is. I'm just saying as soon as I hear that makes me think of him because controlling and regulating his emotions.
Your Abdullah Oblongata.
Yes. It was very hard for him, and so that could make sense. If it's already difficult for her, and then she's kind of perceiving things as against her and always on guard. It sounds like she even just said I've just had a year of hell and stress.
Yeah.
So that could be it too. Okay, good to know.
So good context. Now we watched that one that has almost 230,000 views. So. Like I said, that's not the first one she posted. She's been posting about it. And she posted basically like the same one.
Social media can be such a wonderful thing. It gives us a way to connect with others and share our stories, but I don't think a random stranger should be sharing another person's story without first speaking to that person. Maybe ask permission to talk about them and try to profit off of them. And if a TikTok user has gone out of their way to change their privacy settings so there's no little download button in the app, maybe don't use a third-party website to download their TikToks and make a 40-minute YouTube video about them in an attempt to profit off of them without their knowledge.
Oh, dear. Okay. Allison, you keep losing me, girl. Allison, you keep losing me, baby.
Girlfriend, you're making it real hard to support you.
And
because
that's not
guess
how
what?
it
We don't
works.
anymore.
That's not how it works, like with the download. You know what I mean? Like, it's, if you don't want it, delete the freaking video. Well, no, it's don't put it out there. This is what happens on the internet. It stays out there. You have to be damn sure, even if you go back later and private your account, if there is something already floating around, there was at one point where you had that publicly. It's not that somebody went in your phone, hacked into your privacy settings, downloaded a video you never wanted anybody to see, and then posted it. That's not how it works.
I think the tone of I'm right, you're wrong,
Yes.
and like attempting to make, and again, we get this all the time, so I'm very biased when it comes to this and this entire topic in general. But girl, people who try to make you sound so unhinged, like I'm dealing with that, not even dealing with it, but I'm getting an influx of comments from people who support Elizabeth Tech and Chicken Slut, who are saying things like, you just gossip all day. This is your job. And oh, that's weird. Bitch, I'm getting paid to do it. You're doing it for free. Who's weird?
Yeah.
This is my first and last name. You're talking to me from a burner account.
Right.
That's weird.
Right.
Like, go off. Okay.
Yeah,
But trying to make people sound more creepy and like diminish what they're saying and trying to like invalidate their feelings or their, not feelings, but their stances in their job and stuff is weird.
Yeah.
And I truly do think that the way she's talking about it and like the way she's telling the story and building it up is like irking me, and I don't like it.
And if that person is desperately trying to contact you to take that video down because it is actively damaging their life the longer it is up, maybe just be a decent human being and consider the implications that your actions have on another person. Maybe consider that is extremely harmful and dangerous for your subscribers to be openly discussing and diagnosing me with a disorder that I've never once discussed online, while we are facing an administration that wants to eradicate people with that disorder.
Autism?
Got it.
Is that what it is? Because I'm like, I'm not where you guys are, but I think we had that conversation where you're just like, babe,
Yeah, girl, RFK, that creepy frog man that's got worms in his brain was like,
These people don't pay taxes, and
I need to time
autism
I need
ruins
to-
families.
I need a timeout. There's a really big spider beside me. I need a timeout. Just 1 second. I gotta kill it. Oh my god. Keep going. It came from under the door, which is creepier.
it is creepy because then it's coming to find you. I can't even like judge her. She's screaming. You know what? We're just going to let this video play, and hopefully when we come back, she's back in her chair.
Or that you've weaponized your 400,000 subscribers against me, and now some of them are in the comments saying they're going to go out of their way to send your video to every recruiter they know and ensure I never find another job. Maybe don't brag about how you have so many more followers than me, and say you're not going to delete your video unless I delete my TikToks.
So are you okay?
I'm fine.
You're traumatized. That's fine. So that's the thing too, is that she's saying like, how dare you post this video? Like your video is doing damage to me. And it's like, girl, he's reacting to videos you put on the internet. And honestly, so she just said,
But did she forget she was also trying to damage somebody else's reputation?
but it's like, girl, it's you posted the video.
Yeah.
You posted it to LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? And she's like, oh, people said they're going to send it to recruiters. Girl, you already did that.
You
By
put it on
posting it on LinkedIn. Like, you did all this very publicly. And her saying like, oh, well, he said he's not going to delete his videos unless I delete mine. And it's like, well, yeah,
And
I mean, that
that's
actually
being
makes
fair.
sense.
That's being very fair.
Yeah, because it would make sense if like, hey, if you delete the videos that you posted about the entire situation, then yes. Like, if you want to be completely done with it, then yeah, I'll private my video. I wouldn't do that.
I was just gonna say, and I think Craig seems like he would be the type of person to do that, you know, and like that's sweet. But again, that's being very. If he actually said that, that's like so generous.
Yeah. So it's very interesting, and then she just keeps going. Now this one has 116,000 views.
This is Brian. Brian is a
His name's Brian.
Brian, we were close.
Average white man name.
Okay,
random man
Brian.
who made a 40-minute YouTube video about me without my knowledge or permission. Brian
Without my knowledge or permission. No one. No.
And again, I guess you can have the argument of, did your manager have your knowledge or permission of the recording, or to post it, or to go and blast her and put her first and last name on there? Like,
no.
what is happening here?
No. And also, do you have Brian's permission to post his, stuff on and, talk about him on TikTok? No, because you don't need it. Like, do we have your permission? No. And we sure don't need it, because you are posting things publicly to the internet, and this is us providing commentary. Like, but the attitude of like, I'm so right and you're wrong is killing me now.
Yeah, no, it is. It's hard. That's what's hard, because it's like we maybe just because we've been in the space for so long, or it's like you just kind of like know when to like hold them and when to fold them, and she's just like doubling down and just like not just knowing that it's time to snap.
And the again of the trying to like frame it as like some random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about me. Well, it's not a random act for
Ryan
for him.
Greg's name.
Exactly. It's not a random act for him to do this, because that's quite literally his job.
Yeah.
And that's his content.
And his content, it looks like is to like commentate on these types of things. I think his channel name is like Life After Layoff. So like he's also been in that situation. He's even said, I've been in all of these situations. This is just me like commenting on that perspective. And I think he like is very insightful. I think he's again fair.
It's a niche of commentary that I did not know existed, and I like it.
I know. I never knew about it either.
I really like it from like a PR standpoint. I like that shit.
Really like
refuses
it.
to delete the video unless I give him the ability to control what I'm allowed to talk about on my own TikTok account. Brian doesn't care that his subscribers are coming to find my account and harass me. As long as Brian makes money off of me, that's all that matters. Brian is a career coach who hasn't been getting very good engagement on his TikTok videos, and his YouTube views have been dwindling, so he decided to go back.
His YouTube views have been dwindling. I mean, it looks like they're doing well.
Let's see. We will be the judge of that, Allison.
Yeah. Okay, so he has I wouldn't say they're dwindling. I mean, he has 400,000 subscribers, and
these aren't good numbers for that amount of subscribers.
No, they're not. But it is weird because
But he's still making money.
Well, yeah. But also like it's crazy because like so he has one of those channels where like one video from 6 months ago has 1.2 million views.
These are
one
good.
video from
these are good.
Like 53,000, 83,000, 24, 34, 24, 18, 75,000, 45,000, 32, 34, 37, 16,000, then right after 70,000, almost 140,000. Like the views are all over the place, but sometimes videos just don't pop off,
and that's
that
the thing.
sucks.
They just
but
don't. You never know what it's gonna be. It could be just like the smallest thing, even in your thumbnail, that just doesn't. But like consistently, it's looking like once a month, like he's hitting like over 100,000, and like even like the 1.2 million. Like for him to get that, like here and there, and then consistently at least like hit like 16, 20K, like that's not bad. Of course, when you look at 400,000 subscribers, but that's something that people don't understand is like subscribers don't really mean anything. And especially now, I see it all the time, like from my channel, your channel, like other friends of ours on YouTube, that even if you're notified, you don't always get the notifications. So they're not like just because you've watched someone doesn't mean you're pumping it out. I'll get comments on every video being like, I didn't think you post, like I thought you stopped posting like a year ago. I have like a whole year of content to catch up on now, and I'm like, thank you, I'm so glad you're back. Like it just happens. So that's not fair. And also like 58,000 views on YouTube as opposed to like TikTok. That's again, we've talked about this before. That's apples and oranges. These are two different platforms. They work so differently. The algorithm is so unpredictable.
Like, girl, you know nothing about social media algorithms or analytics, and it shows because
and
people will say this.
bad views is
Exactly. But people will say this on TikTok as well to us, and they'll be like, oh, I looked at your views and like this podcast clearly sucks. And it's like, no, our podcast does pretty damn well for the amount of subscribers that we have.
100%.
And also, and also like our own channels
we're at almost like 100% like subscriber view ratio. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not gonna question it.
No.
But then on TikTok we get like 100 views per video, unless it's about DDG, and then we're getting bullied. So like that is irrelevant. So not us being triggered.
You can't compare it. Yeah, not us projecting.
Yeah.
Back to what got him his most viral video on YouTube.
Okay, so she just said something that's fucking wrong. And this pisses me off because it takes 2 seconds to look. She said, and then he decided to use me to get his most viral video on YouTube.
What are you talking about, his most viral?
Oh, yeah, no.
That video got like 200,000. He just had 1.8 million a couple months ago? Babe, please.
Girl, I just sorted by most popular. I'm still scrolling to try to see where hers was. Still scrolling. Still scrolling. Like, girl, yours isn't even in the top 20.
And this is what's frustrating is like you don't just get to like say stuff.
He's using me for clout.
Okay, Elizabeth.
Maybe
that's why we're so triggered right now, actually.
Taking advantage of women. Brian doesn't care what happens to the women who he uses to go viral as long as it helps him. And after he spent 20 minutes yelling at me, cussing me out, threatening me, and trying to demoralize me, Brian asked me to come onto his channel.
Is she talking about the video? Because he did not.
No,
or was this privately?
Apparently she called him.
Did she record it?
Of course she did.
Where is it?
So.
Okay, this is getting thicker.
So it was a 24-minute phone call.
Okay.
If you're not caught up on the lore of my life in the last 24 hours, some random man named Brian made a 40-minute YouTube video about me. I refused to watch it and give him the engagement, but the comment section was horrible. I tried to reach out to Brian privately in an attempt to...
I refused to watch it because I don't want to give him the engagement, but the comment section... then you
don't know what he said. Oh, I'm going to throw this. I'm going to throw this microphone.
Allison, this is duck. These are coming at your head, girl.
Allison.
Oh, we shouldn't say that because she is a TBI. Oops.
Oh, take it back.
We're taking it back. We're very sorry. We won't do that. I do like your hair color, so you have that going for you. And you look cute in hats. However, stop being stupid. Like, this is ridiculous.
Have him remove the video. But he screamed at me for over 20 minutes. Said he would remove the video, then said he would only remove the video if I stopped talking about my illegal layoff on TikTok. And, he just screamed a lot. I'm pretty sure he hung up on me at the end. I recorded the whole thing, and I'd love to share it with you all. Since Brian refused to be a decent human being, I made a TikTok video about it, which has popped off a little bit. And the wonderful people of TikTok stood behind me, and we made that horrible, misogynistic piece of crap budge just a little bit. He said he would take his video down if I removed my video about him. And I will no longer be communicating directly with Brian because he's already threatened so many legal actions against me. So if somebody else could communicate this to Brian, that would be great. Actually, I'm sure my #1 fan is watching this. So, Brian, I'm going to keep my video up because you're going to help me pay my rent. It's honestly a blessing in disguise. You can keep your video up and continue to show the world that you are a man that does not care about consent. I hope your wife realizes that you're a misogynistic piece of crap and leaves you and takes your kids away so that they do not have to grow up under your influence.
That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say. That someone doesn't care about consent. And girl, I don't understand because like the people in the comments section are agreeing with her.
And have they listened to Brian's video? Do they know how the
Probably
internet
not,
works?
girl.
Did they
That's
see any of the prior context to what she did?
No.
Also to somebody else who did not provide consent? Like, we cannot have it two ways, baby.
No. It's so crazy. Okay, so someone said, you're playing victim and you didn't even watch the video. Yeah. And another person said, can you sum up what he said? I don't want to waste 40 minutes. And she commented and said, I refuse to watch it and give him engagement. I assume some good portion of it was him recording himself watching my TikTok videos and reacting. What?
I don't have words.
Crazy. This is fucking crazy, girl.
I don't have words.
And she called herself a young girl in these videos, and someone said, "Young girl, you're like 30." And that's true. You're not, like, she's saying some random man, and then I'm just a young girl. No, you're not.
That's the thing. It's like, that's not, she keeps switching the narrative. You know, she started this whole thing with not being a young girl. She was, you know, equipped enough to like do the job better than her manager, got laid off for like, you know, like a plethora of reasons that constantly are changing. I don't know what's up and down anymore.
It's really strange. Someone said, just a heads up, make sure your state protects one-party consent phone call recordings before you release anything. And she said, I know Big Boy couldn't do his due diligence, but there has never once been a question of if I lived in a one-party consent state. I do. What?
Oh, she's saying Craig. Wait, Brian, Craig, Greg. We don't know. That he didn't do his due diligence to see if like her recording of the boss. I don't even know if he said anything. No, he just asked. He just like made a point of it. And I think it was like, because again, his video wasn't just like going, it was like, he was like saying it also to like the viewers, like make sure that if you're doing this, you're protected.
Yeah. And then someone said there are court cases where you have to be aware of the other party's state laws on recording without consent, not just yours. And she said he lives in a one-party consent state. I live in a one-party consent state. My old manager lives in a one-party consent state. The greater majority of people live in a one-party consent state. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Allison.
It's actually interesting that she's saying that, because it's like, okay, so you know all that, and you're saying that he doesn't care about consent, but neither do you.
Because you've looked it up to make sure that like
that you can record people without their knowledge,
without their consent.
That's crazy, man.
No, that is.
That's
okay. But what did Brian? Can we listen to a little bit of that again?
So she hasn't released the full audio.
Okay.
Which is very frustrating.
Get over yourself. You're good luck ever getting another job, by the way. Nobody's going to hire you. Nobody. Good luck. You may as well start finding your own business to do. I hope the TikToking works out for you, because that's all you're going to be able to do. No employer is going to touch you. If you don't leave me and my family alone, I'm going to make another video about you.
So you can tell that there was a cut right there.
There was a cut. So she kept going, and she's harassing him right at this point.
Is what I'm thinking. So, hey, Allison, if you don't like his video,
oh God, she's really
definitely not going to like or watch ours. But why haven't you released that phone call?
Yeah, because it does sound like he was baited to get to that point of fresh. And I get it, because even with the manager, we could hear she just doesn't stop. She just has to have the last word. She just has to get her point across. And even if it's wrong, she thinks it's right and is going to sit there and beat you down until you just give in. Like he sounded like he had been going through with her.
I wonder if he recorded the call.
Brian!
I'll DM him.
DM him, please.
So you're threatening me? So you're threatening me now. Okay, Brian. If this is how you want to act, fine.
If this is how you called me.
This phone number was listed as a business phone number on the Better Business Bureau. Because you are trying to damage my life, Brian.
I am not doing. You damage your own life. You're never getting another job. You're never getting another job. You realize that stays online forever. You're not getting another job. I suggest you delete your TikTok. I suggest you delete your TikTok.
Okay, Brian.
I'm gonna give you this piece of advice, and then I'm gonna take your video down. Delete your TikTok. How many reaction videos do you see on TikTok? We're all reacting to your craziness, your insanity online.
Brian, I was tortured by a grown woman who...
You were not tortured. Get over yourself.
Hey, buddy. Hey, Brian.
You were not tortured.
Did you happen to see the video where 6 people from...
I'm going to make even get another job.
Brian.
You're going to be quote unquote tortured for the rest of your career.
Brian.
Everybody, you're the victim. Everybody else is the oppressor to you.
Brian. Did you see the video I posted where 6 people from her previous company had contacted me about how she was fired because of her behavior?
I don't give a shit about your boss. You are going to have a long, hard career if you can't handle yourself. And what you showed everybody was how unhinged you were.
I think the get over yourself is a great. That's it. Her saying tortured. I was.
Oh no,
girl.
Oh no.
You maybe were not treated great. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you felt like you were harassed. I wasn't in there, so I can't say if you were or if you weren't. And I'm not going to make that speculation. However, that is our job, is to speculate. But like, I know,
and we don't disagree that it's not a good feeling to feel like your boss doesn't like you, right? Like that,
and to
not
feel discriminated against.
Absolutely, tortured. I'm just thinking of all the people who have been tortured. Oh no,
girl.
Oh no.
Now,
and
do you think...
Now that I hear even more of that phone call with Brian, that would have actually probably been career ending for myself if someone called my home and contacted my family over a video that I made of them like reacting, like and that I was if I was as fair as Greg.
Yeah.
If I was as fair as him, and someone looked up my number on the Better Business Bureau or whatever, called me and got me to that point of like crashing out.
So you know what I think is a very good
form words. I would sound
you
like a banshee. So like I would have been crying, screaming, spitting. Brent would have just taken the phone, been like, "Sorry, she'll be back in one moment." She's just crying right now.
Meanwhile, I have on my horns and a mustache.
Chelsea's just,
let's go. Yeah. So I just thought of this too. How this entire thing, at like every turn, it seems as though her reactions are, I don't want to say like out of left field, but like her reactions don't match what she's reacting to, really. Because, for instance, a good example of that, I think, in this situation is people like on his comment section, maybe being like, it's giving autism. It's giving autistic. Like cheeky comments like that, which I'm not saying that happened. I haven't looked at his comments much, but things like that. And then her being like, there are people in your comment section diagnosing me with a, disability that I don't even have or that I haven't spoken about publicly. Which I assume that means she is autistic, but her being like, and people in the U.S. want to kill us. It's like, calm down. People are just saying like it's giving autistic.
Yeah. And
they're not sending RFK to your house with like brain worms.
Do you ever worry about that, babe?
Girl,
being
every day of my goddamn life. He's coming.
Is he the sleep
that
paralysis
frog voice? He's coming to my house.
Yeah. And don't you usually find that like when people are like, it's giving autism, like it's someone who's like autistic that is saying it. Like I wouldn't go in there and say that. I would ask you. I'd be like, babe, do they have autism? Like, because I would go for you to like get the advice. Like, is it the tism? But like you're usually the one to say that.
I literally I accused Tucker Carlson of being autistic today on Instagram. And I was like, Tuck, it's giving autistic.
Right. Like,
yeah.
You're seeing similarities, like that's like me, like even like lately with Elizabeth Chicken Broth, I'm like, I don't doubt the BPD because I see some of the crash out like in myself from when I was like 19, 20, 21, undiagnosed, didn't know what the was going on. Also, it's taken me like 20 years and I'm still dealing with it.
Well, yeah, that and the histrionic personality disorder I've talked about before. I was misdiagnosed with that. And it's like, nah, babe, she's just by ADHD and autistic that like does it.
Yeah,
and has severe anxiety. Yeah, so with that, I like knowing so much about it now, I do see that. And so whenever people comment that about her, I'm like, which obviously we don't know if that's what she has or anything like that. She has said that she has about 47 diagnoses. And I'm like, girl,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's longer
She's
than
really
Santa's
hanging on
naughty
to
list.
BPD these days. And I don't know where this came from, but like people think it's like cute, right? Like they're like, oh, I've got like, and they're like the quirkiness of BPD. And it's like, no, it's usually like I'm lucky that I'm here long enough to have gotten that diagnosis to make sense of why my crash
Oh.
outs were so extreme for like nothing.
Girl,
So she's driving me crazy with that.
One of my bridesmaids, a family friend, has it kills me because I'm like, do I want to text her mom and be like, hey, how's Kate doing? Because she texted me something the other day and I was like, what the why'd she text me that? So it's like so worrying. But yeah, it's not to be like, hey, your mental illness is not cute, but like,
No.
can we not romanticize the like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, and especially that's why I think I take it so personally with like what Elizabeth's trying to do with it right now, and like being like, oh my God, like I can help so many people, I can do that, and like showing her medication all cutesy, like thinking it's funny. It's like, off, off.
It reminds me, I need to go pick up my my Zoloft.
There you go.
So now let's do a little internet temperature check, because looking at the comment section, I'm like, do all of you share 3 brain cells? Because what the fuck is going on? So this guy made a video.
A random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about me using videos that he stole from my TikTok account, and now I'm being harassed by hundreds of people online.
Well, guess what? Another random man's about to add another 4 minutes to that, so let's get into this one. And buckle up for this one because this girl is nuts. For the video she's talking about, which I had absolutely no clue what she was talking about, so thank you for driving traffic to the exact video that you don't want people to see, is this guy who's called A Life After Layoff. I think he's an HR manager, and he was reviewing a viral video of hers that says, employee secretly films her boss, the internet is losing it, where he basically explains why she's in the wrong. And now, ever since this guy has made this video, she has not stopped talking about it.
A random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about, hey, so some random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about me, and if you don't have on the Lord of my life in the last 24 hours, some random man.
So it is funny to scroll through and be like, just have her stuff play for a few seconds. And it's like a random 40-year-old man made a 40-minute long YouTube video about me just over and over again. But also, she's deleted videos. So, yeah, so that's interesting.
She constantly emphasizes that he stole her TikTok videos and uploaded them without her consent.
Brian is a random man who made a 40-minute YouTube video about me without my knowledge or permission.
I don't know if people are really this slow and don't know the laws, but the amount of people that think it is a actual crime to take somebody's videos off of a public platform, it is not a crime. And she actually did call the police.
And nobody will help me. The police won't take me seriously until somebody tries to hurt me or makes an actual threat.
I feel like we skipped that part. She called the police.
No. Chelsea, no.
How did Sherilyn hold on? Hold the fucking phone. How did we skip over that?
I don't know, because I do remember here. I think we got so caught up in like the condescend. Because I just kept thinking in my brain, I was disassociating because it was like she was getting mad at me about like this guy doing this to her, and I was like,
yeah, no, you got scared, and you know,
yeah, and then I disassociated, and I was just trying to like look and then wonder what I did wrong and wonder why I'm getting reprimanded on TikTok.
Should we do a here for the clout lesson in acting? Do you want to be the cop or do you want to be her? You should be the dispatcher, I think.
Okay.
Are you okay? Are you scared doing this?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I need a script.
You be her then.
Hello?
Perfect. Give the Academy Award to her. Note to self: never do an acting segment. Okay, so
I will have you know that I used to be in musical theater. Thank you very much, but I need a script.
Not everyone can just yes and.
Oh yeah, improv scares the shit out of me. You say it, there's an improv class, I will out of my mouth and butt at the same time.
I'm sorry, I was distracted and all I heard was shit out of my butt and mouth.
That's literally disgusting.
Okay, so Greg made Brian
what did
emotional
Brian
ass music. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was his music
with the rain. Stop. Okay, so he made a statement
Okay.
And it says we have to do a dramatic reading.
Okay.
Okay. If y'all can put me in like a cozy cafe or something and put like rain behind us. Is it raining in the cafe? I don't know. Do whatever you want. Okay.
Yeah, do it. Jay has that as one of his backgrounds for like the Zoom call.
Oh my God. Yeah, he does. It's like snowing.
Put you there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Next to Jay.
Jay, you want to be in this one? He just comes in and claps. Okay. Or it gives me snaps. All right. I'm aware of the recent series of TikTok videos made by Allison. How I'm being portrayed is completely false and defamatory. This matter has been turned over to the police, and I'm waiting to meet with detectives. Additionally, I'm retaining a civil attorney, and she will be hearing from them shortly. The support I've received has been overwhelming, and I appreciate the hundreds of kind notes I've received. Unfortunately, I cannot comment further at this time. Brian.
To log up the court system with this, both of you. Okay, wait.
You're
I
both
guess
in timeout.
Yeah, I guess we don't know how many times she's like called. I'm assuming it wasn't maybe just that one. I don't know. Now we're speculating. Did he message back? Because now I need to talk to Brian. I got questions.
Well, he said
Brian,
he can't talk about it.
We need to talk to Brian because did she keep calling? That I would understand. If she's just like relentless and like contacting him, okay. She's also the one keeping this going because like I've looked on his TikTok, on his YouTube. He hasn't made he's made like 4 videos since then. He hasn't posted any shorts about this, like addressing it. That's on TikTok?
Yeah, no, he moved along just like most commentary creators do.
Exactly. So I'm so confused here. That being said, maybe he had no choice but to contact authorities because she did.
I guess. I don't know.
She's saying police don't care.
Yeah. Okay, so, and spaghetti. I really want spaghetti.
Ooh.
Am I pregnant?
Maybe.
Am I?
I don't know. I'm not in your uterus.
Figure it out for me. All right. I am covering your current situation with Allison on my podcast, and we wanted to reach out to see how you're doing.
That was nice.
Let's add a little context to this video that has absolutely none.
Hey, so some random man made a 40-minute YouTube video about me and refuses to delete it, so now we're here at the police station. Just left, and, they don't care about me because I'm a girl.
First of all, blanket statement, people shouldn't be using hardcore drugs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check for the eye twitch. But anyway, no, a dude did not make a 40-minute video about her. What happened was a dude made a 40-minute YouTube video about how and how not to behave when you have a problem at work, and included in the how not to behave was some of her.
Yeah, so it looks like she's deleted quite a lot of videos on her TikTok. Because that video isn't on there. The one that he just reacted to.
Is that Jolly Ginger?
It's the older millennial.
Oh.
They're all the same. Yeah, girl, that's fucking crazy. But did you know...
to the police station. She didn't even call.
No, I'm going to the police station right now to report her for having the audacity, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably where we should take that.
Oh my God.
All right, so we're going to head over to Patreon for more unhinged.
And if
you
we
get
hear
it.
back from Craig,
I thought you were asking for an update right now. I was going to be like, bitch, I just messaged him.
No. If we hear back from him.
Should we message her too?
I'm scared.
That means yes.
I don't know if it's a good idea. I don't know if it's a good idea because I don't think that anything we have to say is going to be productive for her and help with her what she's already crashing out. So I don't think that we're going to be able to make that situation better.
For an update?
It's
too late. I'm already doing it.
Okay.
I am covering your situation on my podcast, and I just wanted to check in and see if there has been any update with Brian.
I was like, Craig.
It went into her message request. Yeah, it went into her message request. So did the other one that went to him. So I doubt they're even going to see it. Are we going to throw these again? Perfect.
And this is it. Okay. Well, yeah, no, it is it. This is now we have nothing left but updates. That took so many turns. a lot
I
of turns.
loved it, honestly. Like
No,
that,
I did too.
that
Yeah.
was, I loved it.
Yeah.
She's not going to love it.
No. I think he had some good points with just delete and start fresh.
Yeah.
Start fresh. Because if the longer you keep going back and forth and you're trying to get a job and people come across it.
And I like that he even mentioned, he's like, you're the one who keeps posting about it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't posted about it since.
Yeah, he's like, I did the one video, I've moved on with my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you keep going, that's like allowing yourself to be canceled, right? Like if you keep going with the same thing and you're bringing up the same constantly,
you're the problem.
Yeah, like that's why you're gonna get canceled. No, we just got to move on. We just got to move to the next thing.
We got to move over to Patreon. Did you know we have a Patreon?
Yes.
www.patreon.com/herefortheclout. And we can't wait to see you over there. And I'm so excited.
Me too.
Sherilyn's going to take her tits out.
I was like, we're going to talk about ghosts. Oh, no, it's not ghosts. It's like cameras and stuff.
Wait, what are we talking about?
I thought we were talking about, I think it was because like it's like Airbnb horror stories. Like it's like a compilation of like stuff from Airbnbs. And then I just see horror and I'm like spooky. But like, no, it's like actual like predator spooky, I think. So not the same.
So Sherilyn's going to take out her haunted titties. So we'll see you over there. There's 2 tiers, a $5 tier and a $10 tier. And we're so excited. And we love you so much. We can't wait to see you over there. And I promise you that I will stay up late tonight. And by late, I mean until 11 p.m. because usually I pass the out before 10 p.m. because my kid's exhausting. However, I promise that I will have up the London travel vlog for you because I'm just, you gotta see your titties. Your titties are in it. We'll charge.
No, they're not.
I love how that had a question mark at the end because you don't know. You'll never know.
I won't. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's just us being drunk idiots and being lost and trapped in a university.
Was that stuff good? Was that salvageable?
I haven't even looked yet.
Oh, okay. Love you.
Love you. Stay delusional.
Stay feral. Stay delusional.
Perfect.
Damn the man. Save the empire.
Okay, bye.
Bye.